So back to that bit about there's no known cure. It's really, truly sucky, but it's, as I say, it's probably partly in part because there's no single source. It's hard to cure something when you don't know what you're trying to cure. When you don't know what's causing it, then you don't really know how to attack it. And you're left to kind of attack symptoms or to look for the causes to get you to that point. However, it is noteworthy that there are people who have stated, and this is anecdotal. I can't say that any, I've not seen any purposeful scientific evidence of this, but stories where people are like, "Oh yeah, I had chronic fatigue syndrome and I healed myself. I'm all better." But so that can be alluring. What did you do? How did you get better? And so far with those people, I can tell you I have listened to what they did, and I have incorporated. I'll study. I'll look at the science that supports whatever it is that they're talking about, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I just did the A, B, C, D, and look at me, I'm all better." And I've tried A, B, C, and D, and been like, "Yeah, I'm not all better." Come on. So it varies from person to person, and what may work for one person may not work for you. But don't get discouraged. It just means you haven't found your combination of efforts that you need. Your body is missing something. That seems reasonable to assert. There's something that your body doesn't have, or something that it's fighting. There's something that it needs. It needs time, whatever it is. And you'll get there. You'll just get there, sweet pea. You'll get there. So there is, with this idea that there is no known cure, there's much thought given to this idea of untackled virus in the body. So for instance, it is known that viruses like chickenpox can take up residence in your body. So after you have the infection, you never really fully get rid of it. It goes into a latent state. And so like chickenpox goes and it hangs out in your spine. So it has been found that there are many organs in the body that are reservoirs for COVID, the COVID virus. It lingers, for instance, and it's not limited to, but the hearts, the lungs, the intestines, brain, fat cells, which is, fancy word, adipocytes, and your adrenal glands, to name a few. This idea, this concept of virus lingering in your body after your symptomology is gone is called viral persistence, or that you're not experiencing that main kind of disease anymore. So and I'm not an expert on long COVID, but I have definitely read quite a bit about it because COVID, for someone with chronic fatigue syndrome, especially when you feel like I do, it is a terrifying, terrifying, terrifying prospect. So I've done a lot of reading about it. And so for those who are suffering from long COVID, and who are seeing chronic fatigue syndrome type symptoms, and the CDC is even now reporting on the two kind of in conjunction, which is that's like a newer kind of thing. But so I would say what has been demonstrated, what they're showing is that people who have long COVID, the virus has not been completely eradicated from the body, and it's kind of lingering in organs. And that, it's like when you have the brain fog, or, you have the intestinal upset and those kinds of things. So especially for someone with long COVID or any kind of viral persistence, I would say, definitely you want to get in there with a good fight, with an anti-inflammatory healing living efforts, which that's a whole nother video, ladies. But that I would say, fight it. Fight, and see if you can't get over that much sooner. Symptom management, that kind of thing. And again, we'll talk about that in a moment. But unfortunately, there are other things that can cause chronic fatigue syndrome and can muddy the waters in getting a diagnosis, and that's as far as like trying to figure out what your cause is. So anyway, it is thought that because there's virus still in the body, that the immune system continues to fight on. So that's why I would say you want to kind of help your body. You want to support your immune system as much as you possibly can. And it's just a thought, though, that they're still trying to figure things out. It's, that's a newer beast in the realm of chronic fatigue syndrome, meaning COVID and long COVID. So if that's you, again, no need to give up hope. Fight, 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 fight. So, but another explanation, and one that I suspect I fall into, and hoping to see how that goes, but it's hormones. Women experiencing perimenopause, and even for some menopausal women, we can experience incredible debilitating chronic fatigue symptoms. And for me, we suspect that it's highly possible that my chronic fatigue syndrome is hormone depletion related, because at the same time that I started to have other perimenopausal type symptoms, look at this fatigue and that came about. But it's really hard to know whether that was just coinky-dink or whether it is actually related. So I will find out as I continue to navigate my journey. It is worth noting that women are 2 to 4 times more likely to suffer ME/CFS than men, and there's a lot of science out there and things. And the short is just going to be, it's because our bodies are built differently, ladies, and we have hormones, especially estrogen and progesterone. And estrogen is it is a talk for another day, but the short of that is it's all over in your body. It's like it's everywhere. And so when, especially when you become perimenopausal, which can happen as early as your late 20s, early 30s, when it happens, it impacts your immune system. Estrogen largely influences the immune system. It's just how it works, ladies. So, there's that. So there's lots of thoughts right now: viral persistence, hormones, other things, chemical sensitivities. There's lots of different things, lots of thoughts, but still no cures. So for now, all we can do is kind of take it on ourselves to make our lives as healthy as possible and do our very best so that we can feel better. And I, here at Moaning Zombie, hope to help you do exactly that, because we have a can-do, will-do attitude, ladies. So let's just for a minute, really quickly, we're going to run back to that crappy flu day for those of you who are trying to understand, because here's the little final kind of like little point to that. So remember when you had your flu, and after you spent the requisite time in bed, you were resting, maybe you had that day where you felt better and you pushed yourself too hard and then you got yourself sick again and you had to get back in bed, but eventually you got better. And as you got better, you got excited to get your life back. And you're like, yeah, I need to get my life back. That's another little hard bit for folks with CFS, because we get that moment where we start to feel better, and you've been kind of programmed from previous illness that when you feel better, you're better. You're not. It doesn't mean that you've finally gotten better. So, and that's what happens for me. I get excited when I have those moments of relative bliss and I don't feel so bad, and I'll feel very vibrant, more than I have sometimes in years, and I'll be like, whoa, I can do some stuff. And so it doesn't really matter whether I accidentally overdo it into post-exertional malaise or not. At the end of the day, the fatigue, aka the moaning zombie, it comes back. It always has, it always does, for 14 years, which can cause depression, anxiety, stress, it's definitely mental, emotional, and physical stress.